I am that I am, Ekara, of the New Lemuria. Thank you, Eae, for this beautiful expression of the heart. And I welcome all of thee here today, all of you here today, on this beautiful planet Earth, this planet which is in the power of a great surge of transformation. I and all the others speak not to you from the past of that which was once known as Lemuria. I speak of you from a point of perspective which you would call the future. I speak of you and I speak to you. For I speak now from the council of this new Lemuria, in this grand celestial temple made of quartz, gold, lavender. That color that you have called pink infuses the rose quartz energy, and of course also the great lavender color of amethyst. All of these colors are present here, and this is the true nature of your forests on this planet Earth. All of these forests that you see here, woven in between the trees, are that which you call the energy of precious metals, such as quartz, such as gold, such as all of these things, only not taking shape in matter, but existing in energy. When I say that I speak to you from a perspective of what you know as the future, then I don't mean a faraway point in space and time. I don't mean decades from now. I'm talking about just a few years from now. This is why this type of communication can take place so directly. For you see, this planet Earth is about to undergo major shifts. And today, I and the rest of this council wish to speak of these major shifts that are taking place. So before we go on, I ask my partner, Jeshua, my translator of energy for today, to charge himself, herself, with the power of focus. For so many words sometimes get lost in the winds of time and space, the waters of time and space that weave these realities. This is a message not only for those listening here right now. This is a message not only for those who will listen to this out of an esoteric point of view. This is a message for the entire planet Earth. Again, I repeat my name. I am Ekara. This name of Ekara is one of the names by which a long, long time ago you have known this energy that you have come to worship, unfortunately, on this planet as Jeshua ben Yosef, that energy which you have called Jesus. But this was not the only incarnation that I have known on this planet. Other masters I have lived, that life which you call Kuan Yin, that mythical life that you have known as Arthur, the life of Krishna, and of course this one that I am speaking of right now, the life of Ekara. A long time ago, from your perspective in time and space, I was known as the Prince of Lemuria. And for those of you listening right now who do not understand the concept of Lemuria, I simply ask you, Open up your heart. Open up your soul. And think from a point of perspective that is bigger than the life that you are living now. For you might be known on this earth with names, dates of birth, locations of birth. You might express yourselves through your families, through your jobs, the things that you do when you are not working. You might express yourselves from the point of perspective of your secrets, the secrets that you keep, the parameters that make up the mind. And I am here to say that all of these things are not real. All of these things are illusion. In much the same way as this body that is sitting here now. And this body and the trees around us is indeed illusion. And some of you might know about this illusion. Some of you might think that illusion is something that must come to an end. And of course it is not. The only point of perspective from which we speak, I and the others of the Council of the New Lemuria, is the illusion that separates this body from this one. Or that separates this body from the trees around here, or from the little bugs that are now flying, playing with our hands, playing with our energies. When I say that I have come into this body now, temporarily, to give you a message that is meant for the entire planet Earth, then so it is. And what could this message be? First of all, before we go on, I really want you to go to a place of heart. So I invite you now to close your eyes. I invite you to let go of the mind, to let go of thinking, and to make a journey within. For you see, most humans have a focus on the head. And this is because science today is saying that the brain is one of the most important facets, organs, if you will, of the human body. And this is of course untrue. There is not one organ more important than the other. The only thing that the brain might do is think. Yes. And indeed it does not even think for itself. There is a continuous line coming from a unified mind that is feeding you thoughts into your brain. And your brain recognizes this transmission as its own type of energy. So the moment that these thoughts come into your brain, you think they are your own, and they are not. This way of living, this way of existence has led to so much separation, has led to so much wars, has led to so much fighting. And as we are speaking these words, and as you are continuously focusing now on this part of the head, the brain, I invite you to feel the energy around you. Maybe you are in a place that is also covered with leaves. Maybe you are standing between trees. Maybe you are just in a living room. Maybe you are in an office. Maybe you are sitting somewhere with your laptop on your lap, sitting in a chair somewhere, looking at a screen or listening to these words. or maybe even reading these words. It matters not. For if you just go into silence as you hear these words, or read them, or see them being spoken, if you just go into silence, then you will feel something around you. Some would call it energy. Others would call it love. I call it presence, awareness. What you are feeling is your own energy field, that which makes up your reality. So feel this now. And as you are feeling this, I want you again to focus on your body. Is this energy that is all around you indeed coming into your brain? Or could it be that this energy is coming into your heart, your chest? Do you feel it? Do you feel the energy that is you, that is your reality, that is your life, come into your chest? There are no thoughts there. There is no war in the heart, no conflict, no fighting, no self-doubt, no identity, just this presence. And if you can feel this presence, and I invite you to connect the dots, to stay in your heart and take this presence all the way up to the back of your brain, the back of your skull, right here. Imagine a golden line, if you will, of energy, just weaving its way up to the back of the brain. That place that you are now is called the reptilian brain. It is the first brain, science says. And in this place, beloved ones, there is also a heart that beats. Is there not? How could this be? How could my brain have a heart? That might be the thought that is now coming in. All of this is ridiculous. I have work to do. I don't have time for this. I need to pick up my children from school. I need to prepare food. I need to go shopping. All of these things are just thoughts trying to take you away from the now. You do indeed have a heart that beats in the back of your brain. It is the heart of all living things. The heart of the mammal, the heart of the animal, the heart of the insect, the heart of the trees, the heart of the clouds, of the earth itself, the heart of the rocks. All matter, everything, all consciousness expressing itself in matter finds its heart here at the back of the brain. Now I want you to continue with weaving this thread that has begun from your very human heart. Take it up to here, the middle of the brain, the third brain. We will skip the second brain for now, which is the mammal brain, This focuses on life and death, on survival. But this time is not a time to focus on survival. It's a time to focus on being alive. So skip this second brain and go to the third. Here, in the center of your skull. This is where memory is stored. You might feel it's a bit overloaded as of late. So many things are stored here. Every experience you have ever had on this planet Earth is stored there. In this life, at least. The exercise we are doing now is infusing these memories that define who you are, that define your very humanity. It is infusing it with your human heart, in the center of your chest, in the heart of all living things, here, in the back of the head. Let this happen, and see what's happening to your memories now. Do they matter? Do they really matter? Does it matter what you have eaten yesterday? Does it matter who you have spoken to a week ago? What you have spoken to them about? Ah, no. Does it matter what you have done years ago? Who you have met? Who you have loved and hated? What you have done at those places you call work or school? It matters not. You can surrender, you know. You can surrender to your human heart in the chest and to the heart of all living things here in the back of the brain. And feel then this space opening up, opening up. There is room now for new ways of thinking, new ways of living, new experience. This third brain, that is the brain of memory, is a very good tool indeed if it stores the memory of the now. Before we go on, I again want you to focus on the energy around you. Do you know who is here? All those beings that you have called beings of light. All those beings that you have called ascended masters. I speak of the great ones, the Kuthumi, the Saint Germain, the Kuan Yin, the Jeshua, the Maitreya, and so many others. The Adama, the Anima, and so many others. The Tobias, the Cryon, and so many others. The Buddha, the Krishna, the Mohammed, and so many so many others. All of them are circling, twirling around you. For you see, these great beings that assist in the creation of a new planet Earth are very happy indeed when you acknowledge their presence, which is your own I Am presence. Now I invite you to take this energy that you are feeling around you, that is part of you, to take it back into your heart. And from there, to let it flow upwards, ever so upwards, into the back of the brain, into the heart of all living things. And from there, let it flow to the third brain, the memory of the now. And from there, let it go all the way back into your human heart. Do you feel the cycle is starting up now? This is a spiral, you know. An ever-growing spiral. Oh yes, let nature greet you in the form of its most beautiful of animals that you can hear now. And follow this spiral. This little critter that you are hearing is part of the heart of all living things, just as you are now, as you are creating this cycle. Who knows, in a time and a place long gone, you might have been one of these critters that made sounds like this one. You can always go back to these places. You can always experience these places again, if you just follow this connection that you have now manifested into yourself. And feel the space opening up. This triangle that you have created is now becoming the foundation for two pyramids to appear. You feel what this is doing to your energy? More space, more time than you have ever held into yourself is now present within. And this is the I am that I am presence. This is the awareness indeed. Within this space is a field of vibration. 12 rays of vibrational energy, which science will soon discover is the essence of you. And these vibrations are made up of a set of 12 frequencies each, which are the colors that is you. 144 unique colors. You might see them or you might not see them, but you will feel them. You will. Maybe not today, but you will feel them. And as you open this energy field that is you, focus on your forehead. Some have called this the place of the third eye. Others have called this the neocortex. the supposed fourth part of the brain, and this neocortex, beloved ones, enlightened ones, this neocortex is that place from which flows forth fantasy, imagination, greatness. That which you have called fantasy in your human reality is nothing more than different realities, places where the subconscious can travel. And some of you are fortunate enough for others to bring back subconscious information. And this ends up in the form of storytelling. Your movies that you make, the books that you write, that you can buy anywhere, the stories that kindergarten teachers tell their little ones. All of these things come from different places of space and time, and you will soon discover that that which you have called fiction is much bigger than you have previously been led to believe. Everything you have once, at one point in your lives, imagined exists somewhere. So be very observant of your own fantasy, of your own thoughts, for you are creating worlds and realities. Dragons, for instance, thought to be glorious beings of fantasy, are nothing more than weavers of reality, just like you. They blend and they spend time with you as you travel through your fantasy, all taking place here in the neocortex, the third eye, the middle part of the forehead. Now I invite you to start fantasizing with your heart. So let this place in the middle of the forehead, let this place flow down like a stream, like a river. Let it be a source of watery energy that flows down right into the human heart. And as it flows, let it enter into the cycle. Let it come down from the neocortex, enter into the human heart and take part of the cycle, taking it back up to the heart of all things here in the back of the brain. Let it flow to the center of the brain, the memories of the now, and back into the heart. This completes that energy field, which you can now call the Akene. The Akene is a Lemurian word. In your language, it would translate as core, essence. Like every fruit, or so many different types of fruit at least, have a core, an inner place where seedlings can be found, like an apple. In the center of every apple, at least for now, is a place where the little seeds are found, in so many different types of fruit. Well, this place that you have now created for yourselves can be the place where all your energy, all your love, all your joy and all your freedom, all your thoughts, all your fantasy takes root. The Akene is the place of seeds. Now you might think, if you are still thinking, what could all of this have to do with a message for the new planet Earth? Everything. Everything. You see, humanity, humans, you have been looking towards the long and the wrong place. You have been looking towards your leaders, towards your government, towards externalization of events to make your world complete. Have you found it? Have the governments of this planet Earth, be they American, European, Asian or African, have they given you what you wanted? Have they given you what they promised you? Have they manifested the lives that you are living? Or the lives that you wanted to live? Let me tell you what they have created for you. And of course you have given them permission to do so, so let there be no judgment in this. They have created for you a prison, a world of slavery, where you have to follow rules that come not from the heart, but that come from the head, where you have to follow guidelines that are not just suggestions, but that are imperatives that you need to follow in order to be safe. They have given you lies, dear ones, beloved ones. They have made promise after promise after promise, and nothing has come from these promises. For every day, so many of you still wake up in a reality, in a life that you do not want. You still wake up in work that you do not do with your heart, that you do not do with your passion, that you do not do because of your own self-love. You do it because you think you have to support others. You think you have to support a family or yourself. You do it because you think you need money. Because everything in life is made up of things you can buy. Some of you have even gotten to a point where you have become so lonely that you have to buy another human body for a while at least, or rent another human body to experience that which you think is love, that which you think is joy. And if you do not do this, then you stuff your lives with objects that you can buy, and this is what you call freedom. Oh, it is not freedom. It is not freedom indeed, and least of all it is truth. What it is illusion. Have no judgment over this illusion, for it was indeed an interesting experiment to see what could happen, to see what could come out of all of this. Well, let me show you what has come out of all of this. A planet. And this message is being given to you from an area in Mount Shasta, California, United States. A planet where you have to look for silence, where you have to look for nature. It might seem that this message was recorded in nature, but as you might hear, not 20 feet away, there is noise, technology, disruption. Let this disruption be an example of the disruption that continually invades your life. But can you truly call it an invasion if you invite this invasion into your lives? If you say to yourselves that this is what I need, then I need to go to a place of work from 8 a.m. to, in some cases, 8 p.m. time. And then I need to come home then with my technological invention of a car. And as I come home, I take some plastically wrapped food and I put it in some sort of magnetron bomb where all essence is taken out of it, so that your stomachs are filled, but your energy becomes more and more and more depleted. And you eat this food in front of your television sets which feed you not nutrition, but even more false information. This is what life has become. And yet, although this channel, this body is sitting here with you in the year 2007, this message is coming from a time, a few years hence, where all of this technology has been depleted, where all of this, even this device that is now doing this recording, can no longer function, for the energy of Earth has shifted. This message is coming from a place where Earth has been restored in her original beauty. Imagine forests, bigger, taller than the eye can see, more pronounced, forests that you can walk through in such a state of consciousness that you can actually hear what the trees are telling you. Forests in such a state of being alive that you can never get lost in them. For these great masters that you call trees will always support you and guide you and bring you home. Imagine oceans with waves that are so vast and yet so small sometimes, but you can never drown in them. There is no type of fish in these oceans that will harm you. Neither is there a type of animal in these forests that would ravish you, that would destroy you. Imagine a planet Earth where deserts are no longer necessary, for the energy of all the continents will again be in balance. This message is coming from such a planet, and it is your planet that this body and this body that is speaking right now and sending heart energy right now is sitting on. This very planet. The only thing separating this body and this one and the voice and the energy that is speaking now is time and space. So all you need is a little bit of consciousness, a little bit of awareness, a little bit of truth, and a little bit of information. The course of this planet Earth can yet be changed. And the fact that we are speaking to you now means that this course has been changed. We speak to you from a point of completion, from a point of balance, from a point where this entire planet exists with three simple, unconditional laws of truth. The first of which being unconditional love for yourself and all living things. The second of which, unconditional joy for yourself, all living things and all that you do. And the third, unconditional freedom. Freedom of heart, freedom of thinking, freedom of expressing, freedom of all that is, for yourself and for everything and everyone around you. Maybe that is why the trees haven't been speaking to you, because you haven't given them the permission, the freedom anymore to do so. Because you think you are the only living lives, the only truth on this planet. You will think differently soon. The reason why we are coming back in time, so to speak, to give you this message, is that there is still a couple of other things that could happen. The point from which we are speaking to you now is a timeline where all of these things, all of this beauty that we have spoken about, has already taken place. No, there will not be scenarios of great destruction. There will not be an apocalypse. There will not be another great war. What there will be, near the end of the year 2007, maybe even the beginning of the year 2008, but this is a very unlikely event to take place this late in time, is the end of the monetary system, the end of the economical system, the end of the political system, the end of the religious system, and in fact the end of everything that would take your freedom, your love and your joy away from you. The reason why we are speaking to this timeline, this point in time where you are now, is that this is a fixed event. It will take place. It will happen. The outcomes of these events, however, may differ. And there are 3 or 4 timelines next to our own that are still remaining that might send this planet on a different course indeed. The reason why we have chosen to revert back into time from the Council of the New Lemuria to this point in space and time is that we wish to erase these other timelines. Timelines where anarchy, chaos might prevail. And this lessens all of planet Earth and all of the universe indeed. So if you are just aware of our existence, if you can be aware of the fact that you are living together with us in this existence, from the point of time from which we speak, then all of these other things, all of these other timelines, these few other timelines in fact, will disappear. And this is what we mean with completion. You have a choice. You have a choice now to ask your heart and ask your soul to always choose the highest potentials of every single day. Of course there can be drama in your lives. Of course there can be pain, and of course there can be suffering, but it's a choice. And it's a simple exercise to each and every day go to your heart and choose the highest energy, choose the light side of life, choose to work from a perspective of love and joy and freedom and light. And this is indeed what some have called enlightenment. It is just choosing the perspective of light. Now, all of this, as it will manifest into your reality, will be given names. One of the things that you might have heard about is that thing which you call ascension. Ascension has to do nothing with leaving the planet. It has to do nothing with a death of the flesh. All it has to do with is raising your own vibration, raising your own energy. Now, if you are not aware of some of the esoteric information out there, what would raising your vibration entail? Walking around on the planet with love in your heart, joy on your face in the form of a smile, and freedom of expression. Never be afraid to be who you are. Never be afraid to believe that you are the one that you have always been waiting for. Don't give your power away to governments. Is there going to be presidency and a king and all of these things in that which you call the New Lemuria? Yes. But it will be the reversal of what you have seen and have created here on this planet so far. You have created governments that take power away from you, and you give it away freely. The type of government, the type of king, the type of president that we are speaking of is an empowering president, an empowering king. It is one that does what the people want. And in this way, it is a catalyst, an activator for that which lives inside of your heart, inside of your dreams. This is truly a servant of the people, and not a dictator. Not one who says what must be done, but one who asks what must be done, what can be done. What is inside of your heart, people of Earth? And how can we make this into a reality? This is the type of king, the type of president, the type of council, the type of government that we are talking about. And I am one of these that you would see in this type of council, in the New Lemuria. Ekara, the supposed king of Lemuria, born from the Christ consciousness. And I am here to do your bidding, to look inside of your hearts and then make manifest that which is your highest type of dream, your most loving type of reality, the most joyous and free expression of the truth that lives inside of your soul. How can you get to this point? How can you become this human that would be in a position to create this type of earth that we have been speaking about? It is simple. There are several great illusions, and other energies besides myself have been speaking about these illusions. I invite you to go to those places where you can find the message called a declaration of new energy. There you will find the 3 great unconditional laws of truth that we have been speaking about. And at the same time, there you can find that which is keeping you in this illusion you are living in now, and these are called the 6 great illusions. The first of which is form, the second of which is exchange, the third being time, the fourth being space, the fifth being death, and the sixth, that is taking all of these things together, would be called separation. The fact that you are not one with the other. I invite you to go to 3 lovable energies which have transported me just almost an hour ago into this body. You would call them dragons. I call them travelers of dimension. It's like a subway that you can take from one reality into the other. And these 3 lovable energies are called Toraya, Kamalaya, and Shasaya. Listen to their declaration of new energy. You will be surprised to find how this will reflect the inner workings of your most core human being. I will give you, however, some tools in the coming messages, tools that will help you to get to this space that your heart is seeking to exist in. Tools that will be very easy to use if you will use the fantasy, the neocortex element, if you will indeed let this source flow into your hearts. These tools will have nothing to do with your human senses. Nothing to do with the eyes, nothing to do with the ears, nothing to do with speech, nothing to do with touch. Nothing. None of the senses. And least of all, it will have to do with the memory that is here in the 3rd part of the brain. This is where so many of you go wrong. This is where so many of you bend away from their most pure spiritual path. Because you believe that you must remember, that you must see, that you must feel all of these things in the very same way that you have been sensing and feeling and seeing the earth up until now. And this is not true. As you will find in the declaration of new energy, your senses were specifically designed to keep you within a 3-dimensional illusion. And so you have all these grand adventures that you do at night, that you undertake at night, and you don't remember them. Of course you don't remember them. Your entire brain is changing, beloved ones. At the very beginning of this message, we have spoken of the memory of the now. What could this be, this memory of the now? It is very simple. The only reason why you will ever need the 3rd part of the brain is to translate the energies around you, right now around you, into the reality that you see. So if you see a tree, it will stem forth from the memory in your brain. But this is not a place to store event after event after event after event. The real truth behind the 3rd part of the brain is to create that which is a memory that is taking place right now. It is not a place of storage. It is a place of translation, if you will. Translation from energy into the physical world, from the energy world into the physical world. And this type of translation can only take place in the now. Imagine the unconditional freedom that you would exhibit, that you would experience, if all that you would need to remember is what is there in the now. Now, the mind will always store, or at least try to store, information. Consciousness doesn't do this. All that consciousness needs to do is to live truth. And if you live truth instead of know truth, then all you will need is what is there at that very, very moment. If you do this, you will become more free than you have ever been before. But the now is a tricky place. And at the end of this message, which is now, I will give you a first tool that you can use to be here now. So many have spoken of this concept, being here now. How could it be that this being that you have called God can be anywhere on this planet at once? It is because of you. It is because all of you. It is because you remember that you are God. And so, when you look through your eyes, from the heart of humanity, from the heart of all living things, and from the third brain, all you will see is divinity. Do you understand? Like this very insect here can be noticed and can be seen as divinity. It is just a memory, an expression of energy. And energy is undefined. Energy can express itself in any type of way. You are the designer of undefined energy. You bring undefined energy into definition. Only in the now. The reason why you get stuck in realities, why you get stuck in your lives, is because you have a tendency to define your life moment after moment after moment after moment. And where you go wrong is that you still value that definition that you held moments before the moment of the now. This is what you do in relationships. This is what you do in anything in your life. Imagine what would happen if you can be in this now space at all times. But you are fragmented, like your hard drives on your computers can be fragmented. You have placed yourselves through technology very often in so many different spaces of space and time, and in so very different types of time, of space and time. If you do not understand, and think of this example: cell phones, instant messaging devices, television broadcasts, and so much more, takes you out of the time of the now, but also of the space of the now. So you fragment your own energy. You fragment your own reality. You can never be conscious, completely conscious. You can never be completely aware. You can never be completely present if you keep shattering your energy all over this planet. And the worst thing is that you don't only do it in space, you also do it in time. For you have sadness when you experience that thing which you call loss. You have sadness when you think back to a love that is now long gone. When you think back to a parent that is now long gone. When you think back to an aspect of your life which is no longer there. Do you think these little critters that are here in the trees and these birds that are flying and these insects that are flying are doing this? This is indeed the fall of the human heart and the beginning of the human mind. When you thought it was necessary to start remembering the past. When you started remembering the past as a race, you could no longer create your future. Because the emphasis was so much on the past and not on the future. It has been said in a message that was recorded a long time ago that there is only 4 places where the mind can go. And that is, if you look at a circle and you put yourself in the center of a circle, and on top of this circle you have the future, and below you have the past. To your left you have yourself, and to your right you have the other. Then here are the 4 quadrants where your mind can take you. To the future of yourself, to the past of yourself, to the future of the other and the planet, and to the past of the other and the planet. Think of every place where your mind can take you. Think of every drama or conflict in your lives. It will always take you to one of these 4 quadrants of the circle that is your mind. And within the circle, in the center of the circle, is your consciousness. If you can stay within this conscious field, then you need not go any place or any time. If you think back to a person who has died and you feel anything else but love or joy or freedom for this person who has died, then you are in the mind, for then you are in the past of you and in the past of the other. But if you feel love and joy and freedom, if you think back even then you are in consciousness. But there is yet another, and this is the tool that I shall give you today. In the coming messages, in the coming 11 messages that will follow this one, you will find more tools to bring you to this space where you can create your own future, so that you can exist in the future that I have just told you about, the new Lemuria. Let us begin with the first tool. This has to do with focus and with blending. It has to do with awareness. Awareness in the now can only happen when you use your own discernment, so that you are in the now of time and in the now of space. This is an invitation to simplify your lives. For if you just were to stop using your cell phones, if you were just to stop using your instant messaging devices, if you were just to stop using your mind to think back to all these places, you would no longer shatter yourselves. All these emails that you are doing, all these things that you are doing, that you call instant communication these days, and you worship this, in fact. All of these things take you out of the now of time and space. If you were to just go back to the energy field that we have created before, let the flow come again. Now I don't ask you to see, I just ask you to feel. Feel planet Earth as it lies, as it rests under you, and as it supports you at any given moment. Feel it. And then feel if your energy is here at this point in time and space where you are now. Do it first for time. Feel if you are here in this very moment right now, or if in your history or in your future little lights start lighting up where you are also. Fights you might have had, fears you might have for the future. You are shattered through space and time. And now do the same thing for space. Are you truly in all your energy that you are in the place that you are now? Or are you also in different places? Maybe you are a long way from home, that which you call home at least, and you are wishing to be in a different space because of the mind. The consciousness is always at its best where it is at that given moment. The mind, however, will always try to take you away from consciousness. And how does it do this? Simple. By creating desire, by creating judgment, by creating drama about where you are at that very moment. Now you could say that by projecting myself into the past as I am doing right now, by sitting in this body, I am also shattering my energy. But there is a reason why I am doing this. I wish to create an earth where there is only one time, where there is only one space, so that infinite time and infinite space can once again open up. This is what we call in Lemuria total time and total space. We will talk more of this at a later stage. But I invite you now, as this message for today is almost complete, I invite you after this message to take some time and some space and to see if you are indeed focused on where you are and when you are. Only then can you be of service to this universe. Only then can you be who you were destined to be. Only then can you grow. Only then can you know the truth, the unconditional truth. Only then can you find in your hearts the possibility of all potentials that you can manifest into action, as Toraya, Shasaya and Kamalaya have told you in a declaration of new energy. This will at first be not very easy. At first you might think, and if you think, then you will want to go to other places of time and other places of space. But to the fellowship that I am talking to now, who are on a mission to change this planet for the better. All of these people know how difficult it is to stay in the now of time and space. For many of these people have let go of different parts of time and space in their lives. And then you get thrown back to your core being, which would be your Akene. And if you listen to a declaration of a new energy, you know what the Akene is. You know it more specifically than was told to you in this message. But this is the only way of becoming the new human, the new Lemurian that is you, and that is waiting for you to come out. Once you have done this exercise of finding yourself spread throughout time and space, I want you to focus. And I invite you to be magnetic, to be a magnet that would pull all of these pieces of time and space towards you again. Just let them pull. They can come from the future, they can come from the past, they can come from other places on earth. All your energy, let it just flow back to you so that you can be here now. This is the first tool that you will need to become the new energy human, the new Lemurian. And if you do this, and if you practice this long enough, listen again to this message. And while you are listening to this message, practice this tool continuously. You will see what happens to your energy field if you do. And you will see what happens to you if you emerge on the other side of this message. Some schools of energy and schools of the esoteric and schools of spirituality will say that you need to do specific exercises every day. At the beginning of every day, at the end of every day, it matters not, so that you can grow, so that you can become more aware of who you are. I, however, invite you now to just look to those first few feelings that come up when you wake up in the morning, those first few, and then to see what is needed for that specific day. Do not postpone this. Do not get out of bed or out of your bedroom before you have done these types of exercises, for I guarantee you, you will drag that feeling into the rest of your day. Just remember, you are the creator of your own future, and in that you are the creator of the now. If you see imperfection of your own energy field in the now is the time to change it. Do not postpone. And just draw all of your energy together, back from space and back from time. This is not being selfish. This is being in the memories of the now. And once you do this, once this exercise is over, I invite you to activate the Akene every single day. This is a very individual exercise indeed. And once this Akene is activated, I want you to feel yourself. You can feel yourself in all the expressions that you have been at one point in time or space, because of the heart of all things located in the mammal brain. Feel yourself as a cat. Feel yourself as a tree. Feel yourself as a fish. Or feel yourselves living in the new Lemuria that I am speaking from right now. For you there, you are there too. Otherwise, you will not be listening to or hearing or seeing this message. We know each other, you and I. We know each other. And with that, I shall now pause this communication, and I will give you the opportunity to blend, to merge, to integrate the information that you have been listening to, or seeing, or reading. And in a while, when you press play again, or when you turn to the next page, I will be back, and I will be here to answer those questions that you might have. And now, of course, I am speaking to those who are physically here as we are recording this message near the end of August 2007. I speak to you from a place that is not even 4 years away from this moment of time and space where you sit now. I am that I am, Ekara of the New Lemuria, speaking to you from the Christ consciousness, speaking to you from a place of unconditional love, unconditional joy, unconditional freedom, and unconditional truth. And so, from within the heart of all things, into your very heart, so